Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Clown Questions, the show where there are no dumb questions. I'm your host, Matt Clown Emoji, and today, every podcast on the planet is asking, is Patrick Mahomes already the GOAT? I attempt to answer that question and many more on today's episode of Clown Questions. Who is down to clown?
That's a clown question, bro.
All right, so is Mahomes already the GOAT? This is a hot topic across ESPN and every other network in the world. And honestly, many are saying it might be too early to ask that question. And I agree with them. It's too early. If you compare his first 6 years versus Tom Brady's 6 years, it's not even close. Mahomes is better. But Brady played for, 23 years or some shit like that? So, no, Patrick Mahomes is not the GOAT yet. That's a clown question. But he's well on his way. He's got 3 rings. If he gets 4 more, if he ends up with 7, undoubtedly he's the GOAT. Undisputedly. Because he's already going to have the stats to go against Brady. If he matches him in rings, it's not even going to be a debate. So, no, he's not the GOAT yet, but he's well on his way. Someone who might already be the GOAT, and this is the question that should be the topic of debate, because this one's a lot closer. Is Travis Kelce the GOAT? Now, I'm not here to talk about Taylor Swift like I have probably my last 3 episodes. I'm here to talk about Travis Kelce, who might already be the greatest tight end of all time. If you compare his stats versus Rob Gronkowski's stats, they're extremely close, and Kelce might only be 1 Super Bowl ring away from tying him and surpassing his greatness as the greatest tight end of all time. Again, I don't think Kelce's quite there yet, but if you look at the stats, they are damn near even. Including playoffs and regular season games, Gronk's played 165 games. Kelce's already played 181 games. In those games, Kelce's had 719 receptions. Gronkowski's had 719, while Kelce has had 1,072 receptions. Kelce's got 1,300 yards. Gronk's got about 10,000, but Gronk's got 107 touchdowns to Kelce's 93. And as I said before, Gronk's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, while Kelce is a 3-time champion. Although, if you look at the Pro Bowl numbers, Kelce's been to 9 of them, while Gronk's only been to 5. Both of them are 4-time All-Pros. So, again, with that Brady-Mahomes debate, it kind of comes to the same final determinator of who's the better tight end of all time. So I do think Kelce's almost there, but not quite. While Mahomes needs 4 rings to become the GOAT, Kelce only needs 1. If he gets 1 more ring and, 14 more touchdowns, then I'm giving it to Kelce. I think Kelce's the GOAT. But yeah, shout out to my dog Winston, if you can hear him barking in the background. I don't know if this mic reaches that far or not, but hopefully the Adobe Audio Enhancer doesn't let Winston make it on the pod quite yet. But of course, all this GOAT talk, I'm bringing it up because the Chiefs just won their 2nd straight Super Bowl, 3rd in 5 years, and a lot of Niners fans are looking for where to point their finger. A lot of those fingers are pointed at how overtime was handled, and I'm going to get into that later. But I think while Shanahan's been taking a brunt of the criticism, I think John Lynch deserves arguably more criticism. And that leads me to my question, did John Lynch jinx the 49ers? So per a very reliable source, at Real Skip Bayless on Twitter, we learned that once again, quote unquote, poor Lil Wayne has to play at the 49ers postgame party after they lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Apparently, Lynch asked him, and this time Lil Wayne cringed when Lynch asked him, and he was hoping it wasn't a jinx move by the Niners. Well, there it is. You fucking did it, John Lynch. You jinxed the 49ers. This is all your fault. Kyle Shanahan, you're off the hook. You're no longer a choker. Just anytime someone asks you about this game, deflect to John Lynch and be like, well, he booked Lil Wayne. Mac and cheese. My mom just texted me. Yep, live from my mom's basement. It is clown questions. I'll save the mac and cheese for later, but yeah, now if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm deflecting the blame to John Lynch with a huge jinx. And that leads me to the question that's less of a clown question than the rest of them, because it's actually a puzzling move made by Shanahan. Why did Kyle Shanahan want the ball? He has since defended this decision, stating that, what was he stating? He was stating that he knew that if they scored, the Chiefs scored, he wanted to be the third team with the ball. But as we now know, the Chiefs actually said if the 49ers had scored a touchdown on that first overtime drive, they would have went for two. So Shanahan's explanation isn't going to get him out of this one. He fucked up, plain and simple. Because of the new overtime rules, you actually want to be on defense rather than offense. This is one situation where having Jair Alexander interrupt your coin toss would have been a good thing, because Jair would have just been standing there like, we want to go on defense. You mean defer? No. We want to go on defense. We'll get the ball later, and maybe we'll have a chance to beat Mahomes. But yeah, it didn't happen. I guess the analytics guys, fucked with Shanahan's head, and he thought, a third possession, that's where it's at. But yeah, as if the Chiefs were going to go for two anyways, you're just flat out wrong. So yeah, Shanahan's third Super Bowl loss, second as a coach. The other one was as a coordinator. But yeah, he's going to be known as a choker for years to come, unfortunately. Someone who's not a choker, and in a different league, the NBA, is, of course, Victor Wembanyama. And with all this GOAT talk, I have to ask the question, is Wemby on pace to be the GOAT? Obviously not. It's been not even half a season. We don't even know if he's going to win Rookie of the Year yet. I think he will. But Chet Holmgren will have something to say about that. But of course, I'm asking about Wemby because he did something for the first time since Clint Capella in 21. He had a triple-double with blocks. To quote Hassan Whiteside, ain't nobody doing it with blocks. But yeah, Wembanyama, first since Clint Capella 3 years ago, and he's the first rookie since his Spurs counterpart, David Robinson, in 1990 to have a triple-double. So just already an all-time exciting player to watch. All the old heads, including my dad, are saying, I don't know if he quite has the weight on him to play in this league for a long time. That's always a concern, injury risk. And, I guess Chet Holmgren has a similar kind of discourse surrounding him, and he did get injured before he could play his rookie year, which is technically this year as well. So he's still eligible for Rookie of the Year. So that'll be a fun race to watch. But yeah, Wemby's not on pace to be the GOAT, but if I want to get early on a take, I'm going to do it here, courtesy of Pardon My Take, who inspires me every day of the week. But that take being, I think Wembanyama, when it's all said and done, will be the GOAT. I think he will surpass not only Michael Jordan and LeBron, but he's going to surpass Bill Russell. He's going to get 11 rings, scratch that, 12. He's going to get 12 rings. He's going to finish with more than Bill Russell, more rings than anyone in history. Wembanyama, GOAT. Talk to me in 26 years, and I'll tell you, I told you so. So, Wembanyama, congrats on being on pace to be the GOAT like Mahomes and Kelsey are. Moving on to the NFL honors. This question pisses me off because I hate that I have to ask it because he should have won the award. Was Damar Hamlin robbed? Absolutely. What the hell are we doing here, NFL? I get it. Flacco had a magical run, great season. hell of an effort by him to keep the Browns in the playoff hunt and eventually make the playoffs before getting their asses kicked. But we don't have to go into that. But yeah, I mean, my only argument here could be, oh, well, Flacco only played like 5 or 6 games, which isn't a great argument at all because Damar Hamlin only played 5 or 6 games, and Joe Flacco actually affected the games he was in. But still, I think Damar Hamlin should have won Comeback Player of the Year all day. And by giving it to Joe Flacco, the NFL and the writers or whoever was voting on this award, they're literally saying that it's more impressive to come back from playing for the Jets than it is to come back from the dead. Let that sink in. Yeah. But yeah, shout out Jets fans. But that's just hilarious to me that Hamlin couldn't win it, even though he came back from the dead. They just gave it to Flacco. Was like, well, he was, back up on the Jets. How is it harder to come back from anything? That's got to be the hardest thing to come back from ever, is playing for the Jets. But yeah. Before I get to my segment, first year interruption, I kind of want to backtrack a little to last week, with the first year interruption, which evidently was, I wouldn't call it a hit, but if you're a content creator, it was a hit in terms of engagement. I posted my take about 67 quarterbacks that I think are better than Russell Wilson. Not Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. Russell Wilson's still in the league, so that would have been a lot more. It's equally as blasphemous a take because Cam Newton hasn't played in 2 years. But evidently people did not like that take. And I know it sounds like I'm walking back my take right now, and that's because I am. Russell Wilson and Brock Purdy, those are 2 names on the list that I didn't actually believe are better than Cam. But 95% of that list, I do think Cam Newton could, would be a better backup or even a better starter than some of these guys. But yeah, shout out to the one guy who commented, is like, okay, man, I agree with 99% of this, but I'm sorry, Cam Newton is not better than Mac Jones. And of course, Mac Jones is the one who replaced Cam Newton, so maybe he has a point there. But Mac Jones, yeah, he ain't it, and we all know that. But yeah, just to those people who were pissed about the Cam take, I take back part of it. I don't think he's better than Brock Purdy. I don't think he's better than Russell Wilson. But I also want to remind you, this show is called Clown Questions. So, part of this is gonna be satire. Maybe I'll change the slogan to "There are no dumb questions," because I probably make myself look dumb every time I turn on the camera and do this podcast. But, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. It's fun. And I'm hoping, like these guys, one day I can get paid to do this. And, I guess Goosebump Sports kind of started off as more of a seriously themed account, because I'm posting, like, the greatest moments in sports history. So I get it if, all 29,000 of the followers I have on Goosebump Sports TikTok, they followed me well before I started this podcast. So I suppose you're watching all these all-time great plays, and then some literal clown, Matt Clown emoji, hops on your screen and starts spewing off bullshit about how Cam Newton should still be a starter in the NFL. I guess I can see why that would tick you off, but I just want to remind you guys, a lot of this is satire, and this is where my Uncle Danny is going to hate my show. I talked to him about it over Christmas, about how he kind of hates, the Pardon My Takes, the Pat McAfees of the world. It's like, there's no facts there. They're just spewing nonsense, and you're not wrong. And Uncle Danny, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, because I know damn well I'm spewing nonsense. But, just with respect to Uncle Danny, who prefers Mike Francesa because he actually knows football, I'll do my best in the future to maybe mix in some facts with the satire. So I'll try to talk about real things that happen, real stats, and I'll try to learn as much about sports seriously as I can. But a lot of it's going to be satire. So, Uncle Danny, this probably ain't the show for you, unfortunately. But I take this show very seriously. And to show everybody how seriously I'm taking this, I'm going to answer the question, who won the NFL honors? Starting off with LVP, we have actually 3 winners of the award. Aaron Rodgers for his incredible 4 plays for the Jets this year. That run with the American flag is unforgettable. Congrats, Aaron, LVP. Kadarius Toney, need I say more? LVP, least valuable player. And Deshaun Watson, who won least valuable pervert. So hats off to y'all. Publicity stunt of the year was won, of course, by Taylor Swift. And if you spell out the acronym, it's SOPSOY, which kind of is the beginning of PSYOP. It's a PSYOP, guys. This Taylor Swift shit. If you just see Joe Biden's tweet, not to get political, but he said just like we drew it up. This shit scripted. Taylor Swift's a PSYOP. Fuck the Chiefs. Moving on with the awards. Offensive Player of the Year goes to James Bradbury. Congrats. Owner of the Year, David Tepper. He won for generously giving a free drink to a fan by hurling it at their face. Brandon Staley, Coach of the Year, for that incredible 63-21 Raiders-Chargers games. Who could forget that instant classic? And Sean McDermott, congrats to him. He wins JOTY, Jihadist of the Year, for telling the Bills that they need to come together like the hijackers in 9/11. Like the hijackers on 9/11 came together. So, way to motivate your team, and congrats on winning that award. And then the last 2 awards, we actually have the Super Bowl MVP won COY, not Coach of the Year, but Crybaby of the Year. And hats off to him, because maybe it works. He's here, back-to-back Super Bowls, so maybe crying to the refs is a strategy all teams and all quarterbacks need to consider. And finally, a father-son moment here. Patrick Mahomes Sr. wins DUI of the Year. So hats off to all the award winners at the NFL honors this year. Let's get into the next segment, which is first, your interruption, presented to you by First Take and Stephen A. Smith.
This particular situation is a smear on the entire organization.
It is.
And let me tell you why. Number one, you're the coach, Kyle Shanahan. It's your job to make sure you articulate what the situation is, that your players know all the rules they need to know. That's number one. Number two, hold the players accountable. Last time I checked, you can read.
Yes.
You understand? You're playing the game. This is your profession. How in God's name are you going to be post-game at the Super Bowl and talking about you weren't even aware of the circumstances of an overtime game when it's a Super Bowl championship on the line? It just goes to show that folks were asleep at the wheel, at least to some degree. They certainly didn't play that way, especially defensively, because I give them a lot of credit where credit is due. But nevertheless, you cannot have a situation where you're admitting post-Super Bowl that you didn't even know the rules that pertain to overtime. Overtime is sudden death. Overtime is everything is on the line right now. And it's the Super Bowl championship that's on the line. And you're literally saying you weren't aware of it. That is just embarrassing. And that is a negligence of duty.
Now, I do agree with part of what Stephen A. Smith says there, mainly the part about how, the onus is on Kyle Shanahan. All of your players need to know that rule, not just for the Super Bowl, but for every playoff game. You have to be aware of the rule changes there. But I don't agree with the fact that Stephen A. saying this is as much on the players. I think it's more so on Kyle Shanahan, and I say that because there was actually a player on the winning team that didn't fully know the rules. And I'll play a clip here. Maybe turn down your volume because it's echoey as shit. It's a little bit of ear rape. But Here is a story from Patrick Mahomes talking about how the player who caught the game-winning touchdown didn't know the rules either.
Patrick Mahomes.
Can I tell a quick funny story?
Please.
I threw a touchdown to this dude at the end of the game, and he looked at me. I said, and he had no idea. I said, dude, we just won the Super Bowl. And then he said he blacked out. He had no idea. I was like, bro, because he didn't even celebrate at the beginning. I'm like, what are we doing?
When I see you were talking about, okay, it's time to celebrate.
Just hilarious from McCole Hardman there. He said he blacked out when he caught the ball, and I feel for McCole because even though the rules were perfectly set out and they were explained before overtime, after he caught that, I'm thinking in my head, like, did the 49ers get the 3 seconds left? Did they have to kick it off? And I'm like, wait, game's over. And McCole caught it and was like, yeah, did they get the ball back? Nope. You just won the fucking Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes, who is, again, on his way to the GOAT, his reaction and telling McCole he won it all, then he put it together. So I don't necessarily blame the 49ers players, and how can you when the player who caught the game winner himself, he didn't know the rules. He wasn't completely sure that the game was over. I know he blacked out, but he would have had a much more exuberant reaction had he known, the second he caught it, that the game was over. But anyways, we'll talk about McCole again when we get to the Goosebump moments of the week, of course. But now it's time for another segment, and that's Pass or Play. First up is a quote from Patrick Mahomes. We ain't done yet. I'm going to pass on that. As much as I'm talking about him being the GOAT, I do not like Mahomes. Before the season, I liked him, but the commercials and the Taylor Swifting and the everything has just made him unbearable. So, no, I don't want him to... Do I want him to pass Brady? I don't know. I'm going to pass on that. Unfortunately, he's probably right that they ain't done yet. But I hope they are. Next one, Vultures 1. Play. Pass or play, Vultures 1. Play. I played it. I was delivering pizzas yesterday, and I played the album in my car. It's pretty good. I added a few songs to my playlist. But I reserve the right to change this play back to a pass if there's confirmed Satanism. There was also some Satanism rumors at the Super Bowl. People are saying the rollerblading during the halftime show was satanic, and I guess Ice Spice was wearing like a upside down cross. So decent album, but I reserve the right to take it back if it was Satanist, because I saw Kanye, he had the Jesus mask on. I don't know if that's satanic or not. I hope it isn't. But not to get political, but we don't need any of that. We need Jesus. Isn't that right? Next one, pass or play, Taylor Swift put Travis Kelce on the map. That plays, and I'll tell you why. This Super Bowl was the most watched telecast since the moon landing. What do you think that difference was? Because before the game, myself included, people were pissed off and said, I don't even want to watch this game. But of course, it's the Super Bowl, and you're going to get over that in the 2-week gap that you have between the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. But without Taylor Swift, would it have been the most watched one? I don't think so. So shout out Taylor for putting Kelce on the map, and shout out the Super Bowl for upstaging the moon landing, which may or may not have been real. Moving on, pass or play, UEFA Champions League. That plays. I played two multicast matches, one today and one yesterday. Shout out Poker Perry for putting me onto that. But yeah, the football season did not end Sunday. Thankfully, we still have Champions leg. First leg was just yesterday and today. And I don't know shit about soccer, but it's fun to watch. So I'm excited for the Champions League. And yeah, excited to see the drama that will unfold. Last one here, pass or play, Victor Wembanyama for Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to pass on that. I think Rookie of the Year is far closer to his grasp, but I should point out it is freaking crazy that as a rookie, he leads the league in blocks at 3.5 blocks a game. after the 10 block game, that average might have even gone up a little more. But as a rookie to lead the league in blocks is just hella impressive. But let's get to everybody's favorite moment of the week, which is the goosebump moments of the week. Coming in at number 5, we have Tyrese Halliburton throw it off the backboard to himself. And Spicy P hits the 3. Hallie getting crafty with it. I mean, wow. Just ridiculous. Not whatever. Moving on. Number 4, Ellie McCarville on College Game Day. Kansas freshman from half court. Dude, come on. $19,000, which probably only covers one semester of tuition at Kansas, whatever it is, but electric from Ellie McCarville. I mean, wow. All right, coming in at number 3, we got Steph Curry. 3 seconds to go. The classic Mike Breen bang call. He's probably said that for Steph Curry more than anybody else. Curry hits one 29 feet out from Curry range. You know, gets away from KD. Pass almost gets stolen by Beal. Booker can't get a hand on it. Curry just straight money. All right, coming in at number 2. We got Ezra Manyan.
To the free throw line, up and under, lost it, throws it up, got it!
Frickin' circus shot.
Is your game.
Circus shot from Manyan. I mean, wow. Now, some are saying it was a travel, but others are saying he lost possession of it. And I don't think he lost possession. I think it got blocked and tipped, but I don't think the ball really left his hand. But regardless, Vanderbilt gets the win here, and Ezra Manyan has a memorable buzzer beater, game winner, and Vanderbilt fans, I'm sure, going crazy. Coming in at number 1, who else? But the Chiefs and McCole Hardman. Here's Jim Nance.
It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City! And this was the Andy Reid special.
Tony Romo, his commentary on this video bothers me so much, but that's an iconic call from Jim Nance. Jackpot in Vegas, Kansas City. They win it. Mahomes gets his 3rd. McCole Hardman gets his 3rd, and plenty others are getting their 2nd and 3rd rings as Chiefs. I mean, I'm pissed they're here. I'm pissed they won. But what are you gonna do? Mahomes is inevitable. Purdy could not stop the inevitable. And the Chiefs, yet again, are on top of the world. All right, finishing off the show with the dunk contest preview. I'm not going to preview the All-Star game, but if you can find a sports book that for some reason has a line for it, take the over. Same shit I said for the Pro Bowl. I don't think you can bet on that, unfortunately. Also, sleeper, Sabrina Ionesco, bet on her to beat Curry because I don't know, maybe Curry throws it. No, wait. Maybe Sabrina Ionesco beats him fair and square. There we go. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, dunk contest preview. The overwhelming favorite is Mac McClung, which is funny because he's technically not in the NBA. He's still in the G League. I was going to say we should have a rule it's got to be an NBA player. But then McClung wouldn't be allowed to participate. And him last year was the most electric dunk contest probably since 2016 with Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. So, you know, whatever you have to do to get McClung in it, keep him in it. He's minus 225 odds to win. So you're not going to make a ton of money on him. But Jacob Toppin, Obi's brother, is plus 500, while Jaylen Brown is plus 525. And coming in at last is Jaime Jaquez Jr. at plus 800 to win. My pick personally is Jaylen Brown, just because I'd like to see at least someone challenge McClung for his title, and I think McClung will not. I don't think he'll win it again. But I think he'll be in the finals with one of these guys. So I'm rooting for Jaylen Brown. I don't know if he'll be able to secure the W in this contest. But we'll have to see. I got Brown. But I guess it's just time to see if Mac McClung, I'm terrible at ending these shows, and this is the worst one yet. But the question to end the show with is, can Mac McClung prove once again that white men can jump?